And there we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's live stream. Already plenty of people you showed up. Today we're going to be talking about the recently released information on the squadrons, which is going to be introduced in the Q4 update. And to help me along today, I have a Cactus Juggler, I have Emptilos, and Matt the Fat Cat with me here on Discord.
Hey.
Oh, hello. Wow. Hello. Okay.
Sorry.
Let's get this thing started with having a quick look at what has actually been posted. Is this the right? This is not the right one. Hold on. I need to find the right forum thread.
I posted it in Elite Dangerous Talk earlier.
Yes, here it is. I'm gonna zoom in a bit so people can actually see what's going on. See if it will capture this. Come on. There we go. Here it is. Okay. So, first of all, it seems like the information is a little scarce, but there's some interesting things. So, what we would already expect is, for the first thing we know here, that the squadron is a band of commanders, as a way for commanders to band themselves together in-game. Yeah. So they might be able to play together or focus on certain types of gameplay, such as bounty hunting, community goals, or perhaps rescuing commanders who found themselves out of fuel. The idea of Squadrons is to provide a series of features that support multiplayer organizations and gameplay. In this focus feedback forum, we'll be conveying the creation and management of Squadrons. So this has nothing to do with all the features that they're going to implement, only the social aspect of it. One thing I did notice that I found interesting was there were in a more detailed thread, someone asked about if this is going to replace wings or if it's going to have any influence on how wings work. And it seems like they're not doing anything with that at all, which I really feel is a problem. Because we have always had problems with wings, and now they're actually encouraging people to work together on a larger scale. I feel the current instancing software is not going to be up to the task. I would be afraid of that, at least. Are you guys still here, or did you disappear?
Sorry, yeah. We're here. What was the question? I'm sorry.
What do you feel about the fact that they now have a way to group together a large number of players, but that it seems like they're not going to do a lot in terms of wings and instancing software?
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yes.
Well, that's a problem. But I like their focus on improving the cooperative gameplay, definitely. But
yeah, of course.
The instancing issues have been many.
Yeah, but I mean, they said the squadrons won't replace stuff like wings, so I thought it's gonna be more like a great in-game Discord, more or less. At least the social aspect now, not looking at fleet carriers and whatever.
Yeah.
But sort of an in-game way to organize people. Not in like all-in-one instance, because I mean right now there's nothing you can do all-in-one instance. At least not in that huge amounts of player groups.
No, yeah, but when it's not the point for the fleet carriers though, to kind of put people in the same instance and make us.
I think fleet carriers is just going to be micro stations, like small stations that we can move around. They actually said that. We'll come back to that. Chris Wu actually posted here. He said, "I wonder if squadrons will increase the wing capacity to 6 instead of 4. I doubt that, mainly because unless they're going to do something drastic to this instancing software, I really don't feel like wings can support 6 people without it becoming extremely buggy.
Yeah, I mean, no, we've seen instancing issues with as little as 3 people. So I mean, I can't see.
Yeah, exactly. I would be a little afraid of having 6 people in a wing.
Or you don't think
Chris Wu says AI can have 6 in a wing, so why not us? Yeah, but instancing within AIs is very different. Someone posted, I wonder how many ships will fit in a carrier. Now, they haven't posted any information, and they outright refuse to talk about the fleet carriers, even though that is the most interesting topic on the forum at the moment. Everybody's talking about the fleet carriers, and Frontier refuse to talk about it.
Yeah, well, they refuse us to talk about it as well.
Yes. But I actually don't think there's going to be a limit. I think you can fit as many ships in there as you want, because I think it's going to be a little bit like the mega ships we have now, where you can dock, and there will be like outside landing pads, even large ones.
It could be a little threshold in between individual players.
So you can't store as many ships and modules. Maybe that could be.
Yeah, because then you'd have something to upgrade as well, like storage module or storage bay or something like that.
Well, that's one thing we know about fleet carriers, that they can be upgraded, I guess.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next section here, because it says here, how do you create squadrons? Once squadrons are introduced, they will have their own full-screen GUI page. So I guess that would be kind of like the power play interface. When opening this without having joined a squadron, you will have the option to search for a squadron, to join, or to create your own. Creating your own squadron will involve paying a credit fee, amount to be decided. And the settings follows, and setting the following values: squadron name, squadron ID, language, attitude, which is like relaxed, family, or devoted. So like, how casual are you, or you're a hardcore player group that expects you to be online at least 4 hours a day.
Yes.
Tag, I guess that's like a name tag, just like you have on the ship.
Yeah.
This... No. Oh, that's not it. No, squadron ID. That's of course the short tag. Tags are like what it does. Each squadron will be able to select a few tags from a wide list. This list includes elements such as PvP, bounty hunting, and time zones. See, I find it confusing that they clump both time zones and activity together in one. That seems a little odd to me.
Well, I don't know if it's like in the same line. I guess tags just general means everything. If a player looks for like a squadron to join, that stuff you can sort it after.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff like that.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, in the end, it's gonna serve the same purpose to find certain groups, right? Or to make your group get found. So I guess that's why it's the same.
And then superpower, choose one of the following: Empire, Federation, Alliance, or Independence.
Pretty sure we know what we're choosing.
Pretty sure what Matt wants to choose.
Thargoids,
yes. We're gonna join the Goids. I don't know. Do you think it's going to? They haven't actually mentioned player groups right now. Player factions.
They mentioned minor factions, or what do you mean?
Yeah, the minor factions.
They mentioned it for a second. Like one guy was asking about it. They said they're looking for a way. They're currently looking for a way to make sort of run for a flag. So it says you're in the same faction.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
A lot more behind
Yeah,
that.
okay, so you can have a squadron that aligns itself for a specific faction. Are you then tied together like that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how far it'll tie together, because I mean, in the end, you're probably just gonna do the same stuff anyway, but it at least gives you a way to associate with that in game. I don't have to open in R and check for players and
exactly.
stuff like that.
Where do you think the fee is gonna be at? They say they're gonna be a credit fee. That's something that we could. I was thinking about it the other day. That do they want to make this available to everybody? So you could. I mean, if they put in a credit fee, I would assume it would be like. It wouldn't just be 100,000 credits. I mean, it's probably gonna be a decent amount. I wouldn't expect it to be billions, but. Yeah, I don't know.
not billions, but I guess 20 million, 10 or 20, 10 or 46 million. 10 million
I wouldn't,
is my guess.
I wouldn't say
10 or
more than
20.
100 million either.
No.
No.
So the purpose of it, I guess, is to prevent brand new players
I'm just going and spamming it.
from just going out and creating squadrons as soon as they start. That they want people to have a little bit of experience in the game.
Astro?
Yeah.
Immoner asked he may join.
I knew he couldn't stay away. You couldn't refuse now, could you, Immoner? Hello. Hello and welcome. Yeah, we just discussed the fee for creating a wing, how much we think it's gonna be. So far the guess is more than 10, less than 100 million.
I heard Cactus. It was very broad-spec'd.
What?
Yeah.
Quite wide.
Yeah, right. No, I have a feeling about 20 million. But but we'll see. We'll see. A place between 10,000 credits and 1 billion, I guess.
10,000 credits and 1 billion.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even though there are a lot of exploits and a lot of players have a shit ton of money, I don't think they're gonna take that into account. Like, okay, so people have so much money because they've been using exploits, so we better put this price at a couple $100 million euros.
If you look at the billionaires in the game, it's actually still a very small percentage of the actual player group. They need to get the player group that aren't actively playing involved in the game. So you can't, remove those from this process. It needs to be inclusive. So a lot of people that have been playing it for years and have billions may think, actually, I don't like this. But it's an inclusive process. I think new players are going to enjoy it perhaps a little bit more than we do.
I hate to say this, but in the past, Frontier has seemed to be very happy to make things a little bit overly grindy. And yes, I'm thinking about Guardian Tech. And I know they are going to reduce it, and they have said that yes, maybe the grind was a little bit too hard for those.
They said it?
They are going to reduce the amount of blueprints needed for the Guardian Tech.
Ooh, I didn't know that. No, but regarding the money, yeah, don't think it's gonna be like billions, but I think a few billion definitely, mainly
for a fleet carrier or for a squadron.
For forming a squadron.
For forming
yeah,
a
that's
squadron,
the other point.
No, not a billion for a squadron, because that could
that's what I said.
Okay.
But it could be collective assets. So if you've got 20 players that have got, one's got 1 billion, one's got 100 million, one's just started, he's got 20 million, still hasn't got his first ship. Maybe you can collectively pool your assets and therefore
not in creating squadrons, but maybe for the fleet carrier. Yeah, that could be.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
For the fleet carriers, that's a whole different story, because it says here, how do I find join a squadron? Let me see here. How can I leave a squadron? Squadron hierarchy and privileges. Here we go. So there are currently proposed 3 different levels of ranks within a squadron. It seems like they're proposing this to be fixed. So you have the 3 ranks, and that's it. You have the leader, and the leader will be the squadron leader will have all privileges and can set which privileges officers have. And the leader is, where did I read this? Somewhere I read that the leader is going to be the guy who creates the squadron. So I think it has to be a single player who creates it.
Would make sense, right? I mean, there's only one leader.
Yeah.
That's how it works in all the other in every other game as well.
Yeah.
So I can't. Yeah. So Astro, you start it, and I guess you'll have to invite the first players, and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that mean there's only 2 levels of hierarchy below the leader?
Yeah, there's an officer and a pilot. The officers that can be, they always refer to as the squadron leader. So it seems like there's one squadron leader, and then there can be several officers. And the officers can have a variety of ranks that can be set by the leader. And And now just reading the list that they have put up here themselves. Let me get this over on the other screen so I don't do too many loops of shames on the way onto the station. Officers. So these are the privileges that the leader can set for the officers. Officers can invite commanders to join the squadron. Yes, no. Officers can kick pilots from the squadron. Officers can plot a jump for the fleet carrier. Haha. Ooh. Officers can select purchase upgrades for the fleet carrier. So that's why we know they're going to be upgrades. Officers can set the message of the day. Those are so far the proposed roles that you can, or privileges you can set for officers.
You need to keep your officers limited and rich.
Limited and rich?
You need to keep your officers limited and rich, because of course you could have rich pilots. Can they contribute to what the officers decide? I mean, how does that work?
It's simply a guild system.
Yeah.
This is not going to be. This is not going to be. You can give them permission to upgrade the ship as a leader. You can give officers permission to upgrade the ship. I think it says on the page there. But I mean, communication on the comms would decide which upgrades we go for, I guess.
Exactly.
Fleet comm.
They're actually going to try and push the in-game communication a little bit with this, so they can have like a group voice chat in-game with that awful sound that they have. But fair enough. But the fact that it says here, because if you read the text carefully, you can get a little bit of insight into what they're thinking. Because it says here, officers can select purchasable upgrades for a fleet carrier. So I read that as
no grind for me, you bitches.
Yeah, I think it's like going to be a squadron-wide mission, just like we have wing missions now. So you could go to the fleet carrier and hand in materials. That's on a bill of materials you need to do to get a certain upgrade.
But do you purchase with the materials?
Sorry, go ahead.
Does it seem that you, like, the way I read it, like, officers can select purchase upgrades for a fleet carrier? I don't, like, from what I think it's going to be money and money.
And there's your loop of shame.
I don't know. I think potentially what will happen is the fleet commander will have to say, we need to do this, and then once they've registered that in game, there will be a process of missions where people have to hand stuff in. I'm not saying it's going to be a grind, but it is going to be a grind, because I don't think you could just hand over money.
So I can't remember where, but I think I saw somewhere or heard somewhere that they are discussing a initial buy price for a fleet carrier of 5 billion credits.
That might just be rumors.
That's the initial. This is of course not confirmed. That I'm pretty sure if you ask Frontier now, they will not confirm it. But I think I've heard rumors of that's going to be the area they're looking at. And then upgrades is going to be for materials. Maybe also credits, but I think mainly materials.
I'm going to say to you, well, actually it's 5 billion. There's enough of you out there, because they generally want the community leaders to be doing this. They don't want, 3 mates that, play once or twice a month to be able to create this system. So maybe it's aimed more towards community leaders, where they have 4 or 5 or 6 commanders around them, so they can say, well, actually, if you're regular players, 5 billion will do 2 things. One, it'll take out some of the billions that are flying around in there, because even between us, 4 or 5 here, we've probably got about 20 billion. That's a big chunk of money.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all about, like, I think it's going to be pretty low. What do you call it? Low. Like, it's going to be a low demand to create a fleet or a squadron, but it's going to be up to you how much you spend to upgrade it, right? Or how much you can spend on upgrading.
The fleet carrier, right?
Yeah, that'll be down to collection of materials. I don't think money's going to buy the stuff you need.
I'm not sure, because think about it like this: if the fleet carriers were dirt cheap, let's say that you're just buying it, the initial one is going to be 500 mil, which I would reckon being dirt cheap for what you're actually getting. They're going to be
in the price of the ship. So you got to look at the biggest. I would do it logically and look at the most expensive ships.
Yeah, the
how much
cutter.
it costs to put stuff into it. So you're looking at $1 billion to do a corvette or a cutter. $1 billion, just a small ship. Equatively, in how basic economics works, if you just take the engineering and the physical production of that unit and then apply it in a world where elite are claiming to be quite relative to reality, some figure that's at least 5 times that. I don't think 5 billion is really a massive figure. It sounds impressive when you say it out loud, but actually, if you look at how the game economics work, you get versus the engineering, which is obviously the grind bit, but the cash, what you pay.
Yeah,
5 billion
especially if you're in a group of players. I mean, as for a single person to hand out 5 billion is a lot, but if you do this as a group, it's not that bad. But
No.
So my reasoning behind it, I think it's going to be a fairly expensive thing to buy. Is these would potentially, I mean, if we have, let's say we put a fleet carrier in LP. Imagine if everybody could get this, they would be everywhere. There would be several in every single system in the bubble if they were easy to get.
Yep.
Yeah.
They would be everywhere because I would expect them to be in both. That they would be both available in like an open private solo, so you could always see them regardless of which instance you were in. And yes, Chris Wu asked here, can they be destroyed? Can you attack them?
That's another thing I was just about to say.
If
Because
you attack them in an instance where you don't have defending pilots, does that mean that the automatic defenses would apply the same return against offending pilots that try and attack them? That's a complicated.
Maybe you can maybe you can damage them and you'll have to repair them or something like that. But
Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't think we should be
little,
talking too much about that.
Because we don't know anything at all.
anything
That's
about
pure
Yeah.
speculations at the moment.
But back on the other topic we discussed, I think, if I'm just gonna guess, I think it's gonna be like World of Warships. You know how the clan system works in there. It's a certain price to pay to get in, and it's not cheap. But it's not too much either. But to upgrade the the benefits that people get, you'll need to buy like buildings, and to buy that, people have to work together over a long period of time in order to get them. So it's easy to make a faction, but it's hard to get a good one. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So you think the factions are gonna be upgradable as well?
No, not the faction, but by the faction and the upgrade buildings. I mean the fleet carrier, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the entry purchase might be semi-expensive, like it is in World of Warships, and then you'll have to upgrade it through a lot of teamwork in order to make it good.
But I
is there anything
really
in there about, is there anything in there about how these mega ships are going to actually integrate to things like BGS? Because obviously that's a new gameplay for us.
we don't know if there's gonna be mission boards, outfitting. That would probably be something you could upgrade, I would guess. But I really hope that they're gonna add more to. I mean, I hope squadrons are gonna be more than just like a way to give you a tag next to your name and a place to grind for or to get a fleet carrier. I hope there's gonna be more gameplay to it than just the fleet carriers.
Yeah.
I would like to see squadron missions also. Now we've seen wing missions so far, but like squadron missions, so you could take a mission,
Like miniature community goals.
like miniature community goals, exactly, and that could maybe then give you some kind of special resource, like maybe you could earn some credits to your faction or to your squadron. I don't know.
Oh, that might be. It could be a cool little thing.
From what I've read, it really sounds like the squadron has its own little bank for whatever currency you're using. Is it money? Is it commodities? Is it materials or whatever?
Influence points or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like stuff, because I mean, if an officer can decide what to upgrade or what to purchase, or I can't remember how they phrased it. You have to have all the materials that you need in one spot right now, right?
I just love the chat right now. So I posted back on topic: fleet carrier paint jobs. Well, sad but true. And someone also said, yeah, squadron flavors of whole X tons of bio waste. Yep. Spoilers for the fleet carriers. Wait, this system has no... Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, some systems don't have any fuck.
I was hoping I was planning to run some missions, but the system only has medium-sized landing pad. So I guess I need to get another ship.
I'm a back explorer is your friend. Does it all.
Yeah.
Combat.
That's for fuel scooping.
There's a lot of questions about the fleet carriers, and really,
Yeah, we should
excited
probably
to see
talk about that at some other point.
Yeah, actually, that's gonna be a focus feedback in the future. It's probably gonna be months down the road because they already laid out the plan for the next 3 or 4 focus feedbacks. But there's gonna be a dedicated focus feedbacks for the fleet carriers. So that's all gonna come later on. But it seems like they're gonna run each focus feedback for about 2 weeks, and they have already planned them for the next month, I think. So
now, yeah, I think fleet carrier is part of squadron, so maybe, I mean, maybe it's like this one will run for 3 or 4 days, then they'll switch to the next focus point of the squadron. I mean, right now it's really only the social part of the squadron update, right?
Oh, you think it's gonna be that soon?
Either that, or I mean, it's Q4 and it's only May right now.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just read. They said something here. They had a small section here. Okay, I'll just show you guys what they've actually said about fleet carriers in. Here it says. So, here we go. The fleet carrier. As you might have noticed above, it will be possible for squadrons to possess a fleet carrier. We will be devoting an entire focus feedback thread to the squadron fleet carrier, so please refrain from discussing it at this time. Basically, now shut up about fleet carriers and discuss the social aspects of squadrons. And if you go over, and I'll just show you this, if you go over to the thread, it's basically people talking about fleet carriers.
I understand that.
Yeah,
we just went off on a tangent, but
yeah. Now there was some interesting replies from them here. One thing they have mentioned, and I'm pretty sure if there's other guys who are out there watching who has a group on their own, it's especially something that I think every larger community has been afraid of. That's the aspect of name sniping. Being, let's say that we take the fuel rats, for instance. Let's say someone, as soon as the Q4 update goes live, logs in and create a squadron called the fuel rats or fuel rats, something like that.
Yeah.
Simply just to fuck with them, and they have said here in a reply that say thanks to all the people who mentioned the problem with the name sniping thing, and that that this is something they will consider so they can prevent it. So at least they are going to do something to try to prevent name sniping.
Does that mean they have a list of 200 people that they put on onto a watch list and say if anybody goes near these or acronyms of these, that they're going to address that immediately? Does that mean that you're going to have a process to say, well, actually, that's mine, that's my right, that's what I do?
Well, you Astro, you should copyright the name as fast as possible.
Now, we briefly talked about it before the stream, and what I think they will do, and I agree with what we discussed there, that they're gonna make some kind of form that you fill out as an already existing owner of a private group, player faction. So you would have a chance to pre-order a specific squadron, so they would have it already implemented for you on launch.
But then you're missing out on the fee. Everyone else has to pay, and people are gonna be mad again.
They could just remove it from your account. I mean, they could just simply say, if you fill out this form, we will remove this amount of credit, like what the fee is, on launch day. If you don't have the credit in your account, too bad, you are not gonna get your squadron. Problem solved, everybody's happy. There will be people...
Except those who don't have the cash on their account.
Yeah, but then...
You can't create a squadron.
Then you can't create a squadron.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the least of the problem. But the name sniping has concerned me a little bit.
So problem is I have very little ships that can actually land on this station. I have my courier. I could see if I can find some boom missions. What state is this in? Oh, there's actually... they're both in boom. Nice. Those should be boom data delivery missions then. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else we have here. Where did the forum go? There's the forum. So yeah, that was name sniping. Let me see. There was one more thingy that I wanted to look at. Scroll through the forum thread here. Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. Are squadrons cross-platform? How will this work? And to that they answer, it is not actually possible for us to support cross-platforms for squadron in the same way wings are not cross-platform. So as I read that, that means if we create a squadron on PC, the squadron on Xbox is... I mean, people could create the exact copy on Xbox or PlayStation if they wanted to. That's a little dumb, if you ask me. Unless they're going to block the name, so you can't have the squadron exist on multiple platforms.
That seems likely, or an easy way to fix it at least.
Yeah, but then again, what about the players who actually want to have a squadron cross-platform? I mean, they could just create it on all the platforms, but yeah.
Yeah, Down To Earth Astronomy X and PS. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe we'll have to be creative about that.
But that would still require a third-party management process, like Discord or something else. So, isn't there a process that they want to bring some of it in-game? I mean, a lot of this game is third-party based. Let's be blunt. There's EDDB, there's EDSM. There's a lot on this game that if you don't discover, is going to make your life very difficult. So is that how the new process is going to work, relying on third-party communication processes, or are they going to have something in-game?
I think they're...
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, I think that's one of the part, at least in the last update, that they try to, well, get out of at least. Yeah. If you look at it, I mean, they did the trading stuff. You can now... It's still not as effective as EDDB, but if you want to, you don't have to. Can still trade effectively now without relying on EDDB. Same with like finding different systems for which have certain services. Although again, it's not as effective as EDDB. But I mean, in the end, EDDB is like a data bank where a lot of players work together. So I guess
no, I think they have direct communication with the data banks of Elite.
No, they don't. The basics are that each player has a third-party app that pushes the information out. So the information's in-game, and that's the bit that's irritating sometimes. Like when I played Elite when I first started, I found it very inconceivable that apparently all this information is magically appeared, and as I've looked into it, I've realised it's because people carry third-party apps that output their data every time they land at a station or they do a certain act. So therefore, the data is in-game. There's no in-game process. albeit make it as complicated as you want, but it can't be any less complicated than not knowing it's there and having to go to a website. The thing is, though, I also don't want to remove the hard work by third-party engineer, sort of software engineers that put this all together for us. So
yeah, because they did at one point, and people raged out.
How do you balance those two things? They've relied so heavily on it being a exclusive, inclusive, uninclusive, as in if you don't know, you don't know type of game, to suddenly we want everyone playing and we're going to make it really cool. There's no balance between those two.
The GK has put in the chat here, not as efficient. That's one hell of an understatement. It's barely functional.
It's working as intended. That's all I've got to say.
Yes, it's working as intended. Now, where is my landing pad? And which way's up? Oh, there it is. No, that's not it.
To friends that want to play this game, and they go, "Oh, this sounds really cool. This looks really cool," and they go, "Oh, yeah, but how do I find this? Oh, you've got to know that this website, or you've got to have this piece of software, and then you've got to run this small app," and they'll go, "Really?" They've come from normal gameplay to this, and they're just kind of like, "And you play this? Oh, yeah, but if you know, you know." And that's kind of the problem sometimes, is that new players will buy the game and they'll really love it, and they're probably very good players, but they would eventually just lose interest because it's just not an inclusive in-game process.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, there's a lot of this in Elite. I mean, imagine this: you get you finally manage, for some miracle reason, to get access to Palin without using third-party tools at all, without reading on the forums, without using any of the third-party tools. And you go down to Palin, and now it says, "Oh, bring me Thargoid sensor fragments," and you're like, "What? What's a Thargoid?"
It's like your quote. I've just recently unlocked all my engineers. I played for a while, but only Christmas decided to unlock all my engineers. And one of my biggest bugbears was, even though I knew to Google, even though I knew to check things, every time I got to somebody, they went, "Oh, now you're here. By the way, don't forget," because not all of them do, but some do. And it's always the ones that you want straight away. Go, yeah. "I need 500 of this. And by the way, you can only get 4 at a time, and it's 250 light years away. So I just need you to be immersive and go back and forth."
Yeah, but about that,
the rare commodities. Yeah, that's. Hello? Okay.
Hey. Yeah, no, I would be really surprised if I saw somebody that actually got all the engineers done without ever Googling anything. And if you Google anything, like how to get, say, bio-waste, as a wild example, you'll find EDDB very fast.
Go to the toilet and poop a lot.
Yeah, that's right. You would find it very, very fast, but should it really be necessary to run third-party apps in order to actually play the game?
No.
Should there be a process within the game that seems to supposedly give you so much information that it's relevant? I mean, the Galnet stuff and all that's very fascinating and all, but does anybody that's even played this game for, when I jokingly said to somebody, I'm sorry, I'm quite new to this game, I've only done 1,000 hours, they actually understood. They went, "Oh, okay, well, I'll explain this and this and this then," because they've done 4,000 hours, and you just think, I know Frontier want people to play the game for a long period of time, but not telling somebody how to do something does not make what you've produced any more intelligent or better. If you make something so convoluted, it just means it is literally the 1-inch deep thing, because actually when you start looking below the surface, you have to really look below the surface, as in you have to go outside of the game. Seems a bit frustrating.
I think we're leaving the topic a bit here.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting off topic.
We should go back to how they're going to amazingly fix this all in the next update, which is going to be Squadrons.
I will keep scrolling through the board here, see if I can find more interesting answers.
What about the feed, Astro?
The what?
The feed. That could be interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right. The feed we were talking about. I was about to go. So they have here a section on squadron communication, and what they're going to have here is two things. They have what they call group comms, a new feature that will be used for squadrons to. A new feature that will be used by squadrons is group comms. This will add challenge. Can't talk anymore. This will add challenge. English, please.
Chat.
Yes, it'll add chat. Another functionality to the chat panel. When the squadron is created, a squadron channel, and the squadron officers channel, which is only available to the officers and the leader, if that wasn't obvious, are automatically created. Okay, so we get a chat channel where we can post squadron wide. And then there's the feed. The squadron overview page, which becomes available once a commander joins a squadron, will have a list of automated posts that are added to the feed. This feed will provide essential feedback on the squadron, the fleet carrier, and their activities. For example, when a player joins the squadron, a message will be automatically added to the feed. So it's like a Facebook feed bot for squadrons. The feed is limited to a certain amount of posts at the moment, to be determined. Those members with the correct privileges will also be able to add a message of the day to the feed. So that would be the officers. The last message will always remain sticked. Okay, so you can basically have a simple message of the day.
Like, strawberries are 50% off today.
Yes, and anacondas are free at Hot and Orbital.
Oh, they are?
Oh shit, I'm going there right now.
Doing this, we should be on our way there.
Let's go.
I don't know if there's something. I mean, the only real useful thing I could see with the feed is to use it for if you do BGS stuff, like post daily orders in the newsfeed in game. It would be an obvious thing to use it.
But hasn't Discord, already a third-party app, eliminated a lot of the process of that?
That's my point, because I have a hard time seeing people actually using the in-game chat extensively. I mean, if you have a large, maybe if you're only like 2-3 people, sure. But if you have a large group of players, you want more than one chat channel.
Yeah, I mean, they said that you can. I mean, they said it's automatically creating 2. That doesn't mean that they'll be limited to 2.
I think it's gonna be. I mean, they already limited the amount of roles to 2 or to 3.
Yeah, but that's another concern I had, because I mean, for us,
isn't that fractured though? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but isn't that fractured within the second tier?
And he interrupts.
Anyway, but isn't that fractured though within that second tier? So the first tier is the leader, second tier is fractured within different ranks of officer, and then you've got pilots.
No.
So isn't that already
no.
I think for a community like us, it would be fine, because I mean, we have, as in Discord, we have a leader, a few mods, and everyone else is sort of equal. But if you look at like other factions who'd like not even a hierarchy thing, but sort of split or give players special tags or something like that, like, I don't know, if you're looking at a PvP faction or a PvP squadron, one of them is really good at killing big ships, one of them is good at doing something else.
Look at the wings.
So
look
really
at
nice.
Hold on. The wolves of tonight. Sorry, I didn't mean to. But yeah, the wolves
Yeah,
of
I
tonight.
don't know. You always say I didn't mean to.
Yeah, and then you go on.
Then he interrupts.
I didn't mean to, but sorry. Carry on.
Some people are posting in the comments here that they don't really see a point of this. No, I don't know if you guys do mean the whole squadron as a whole or just the communication part of it, because I agree the communication part is lacking. I can see that the message of the day could be a nice addition for people that does not like to use Discord or whatever communication platform that a squadron would use, but other than that, I think the rest of it is well, meh.
Hey, quick question on something entirely not related. Where's the button to unlock the globe with the horizon lock in SRV?
Function or what?
Horizon lock? What?
Oh, escape menu.
Yeah.
I think it's graphics,
Graphic, alright.
if I'm not mistaken.
Alright, got it.
Perfect.
Sacrificial lamb.
Right, back to the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
My bad.
continue. Okay.
No, yeah, but I agree. Like the communication is sort of. If you already have like an established Discord group, I doubt, or like TeamSpeak group or whatever, I doubt that anyone will really do the jump without, if they don't give you like anything that's actually like, what would be cool if you can, like, if you're a leader or an officer, if you can write a message and that message doesn't just pop up in the bottom left corner of your thing, but have like an urgent message that just in your face kind of thing. That's
That'd be
on
cool.
the right hand corner, like a giant warning triangle and the message beyond it. Like almost like with the same intensity it says you that your hard points are still deployed when you try to super cruise. Something like that.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
I don't know where for what you could use it, but I guess there would be something at some point.
Yeah. Hey, fleet. I just woke up.
Okay,
Please
we have
ask
something here. Let me see. Is it possible to send an invitation even if the commander has not applied? Yes. So you can also send invitations out, basically. Okay. Will it be possible to set a minimum requirements for acceptance? For example, applying commanders need to be at least elite in trade. To which they reply, "Good idea. I have taken a note." Now that we actually talk about communication, there's a question here. In addition to the message of the day, will officers/leaders be able to post other messages to the feed manually? Or are they all automated updates? Only the most recent message of the day will be sticked. All others will be added to the feed per normal. They will disappear off the bottom. Okay, as all of the other feeds. Okay, so it will basically be pushed out. But since you have it seems you have no way to disable the like new members have joined or something, then I guess, yeah.
That's alright. I don't see that as a big problem.
No.
But it's so this is gonna be like a feed that's it's gonna be accessible at a certain place in game that doesn't pop up on screen, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the main panel.
Okay.
And again, there's a lot of people here asking if squadrons are going to replace player minor factions. It seems like they're not, because they're talking about how you like run a flag for a specific faction.
Yeah, I don't think a squadron will have any like place in the BGS.
No, it will.
I mean, they can influence it, but it's not like the squadron is now a faction in the background simulation.
Well, no, not automatically, but they're talking about binding them together.
Yeah, they talked about you can associate with it, but that's something else.
Yeah.
And it's still then, other than you say you're aligned with them, it doesn't really have any direct impact. You're not. At least I don't think it's gonna be like that. But it would be cool if you have like, if the system isn't boom, you have prices on your not mega ship, on your fleet carrier, or get increased, whatever.
Perhaps it could just increase its defensive capabilities versus its hierarchy. So once something gets to a certain point, you know that you possibly can't get sniped out by even 10 corvettes. 10 corvettes turn up and they just don't like you. Actually, they're just going to get taken out. But then
maybe
again,
it's. Yeah, but maybe it's. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
carry on. You're owed 3. at my last count.
No, no,
Just crack
but
on.
it'll probably be like
No, but anyway, as I
at
was
least
saying,
they introduce any way or any sort of persistence in, or more persistence in that sort way where stuff just doesn't just despawn if no one's around anymore. I don't think it'll be, or I think it'll be more like a station or a mega ship where it's so heavily armed or so heavily armored that you can't really do any harm as long as you're not a Thargoid.
I don't think it's meant to be a piece of war. It's like a support role.
defendable
looking-
because people are idiots, and that's the reality.
No, but maybe it'll be the same as the other megaships. You can't actually destroy a megaship. You can impact the people flying away from them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually something I completely missed. Wow. We are currently considering capping the squadron membership at 250 commanders. But we're interested in hearing your feedback on the matter.
Sorry? What's that?
I'll read that again. So I just missed something here. We are currently considering capping the squadron memberships at 250 commanders. But we're interested in hearing your feedback on the matter.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
That could be a problem, yes. To say the least.
Well,
Does
we have
that
to
mean
create
active
2 squadrons.
commanders, or does that mean commanders in total? I could get that they get 2 caps. You could have a membership list, and then an active commander. So if you suddenly wanted to, wage a war, you couldn't get more than 250 commanders involved. But I don't know.
I read it.
Yeah.
I read it as you cannot have more than 250 commanders and members of a squadron. At least that's what's been proposed.
Version 2.0, and you just have another 250 inside that one. I mean, that can be circumvented if that's necessarily their point, but it's a bit odd.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's really necessary, if we have like in a dream scenario where we would have more than 250 active people.
Active versus membership is different. You might have a million subscribers, but actually only 100,000, so 10%.
They haven't talked anything about. I don't see it happening because that's not the way it works in any other clan system in any game that I know of. So why would they suddenly do something like that here? And it's not a very big player community. It's only like how much is it? 8,000 players a day. So
yeah, those numbers seem a bit strange.
they do.
Yeah, Chris Booth says, you know why? Because FDev's too lazy to fix the instancing.
I mean,
Chris, you kind
in
of got
all
a point
honesty-
there. I'm just not gonna lie. I didn't mean to interrupt Cactus, but I'm gonna make this point. Their instances, it's just hysterical.
if we could manage to get 250 people in one instance, I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't need any more.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're up for that.
No, but I don't think the point is not that we should have. I mean, the point is not that we're going to have 250 people playing together at the same time. I don't think anybody's expecting that to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I guess the
think
point.
that's their total campaign.
I guess the point is, I mean, look at the Discord here, right? We are currently pushing 2,000 members on this community Discord. Now, I know a lot of people are just hanging out here. It is not active and probably wouldn't apply to join. But over time, there will be players coming and there will be players leaving. And the players leave, if they just outright stop playing, how do we know who we kick and who we don't kick? So could we then be able to see when people will last online?
I guess they have to give us some kind of tool to figure that out.
Yeah.
But why do they have a cap at all?
See, I don't get it. I don't get why they need a cap. It seems like programming wise, it would be fairly easy just to not implement a cap at all.
Yeah, and if people make new accounts to fill their faction up, well, that's just more money in the box for Frontier.
Yeah, and there were people just arguing on the. I'm just reading. There's a forum thread where they discuss exactly the cap here, And some people are arguing, well, that historically a squadron is just it's not an army, it's like a subsection of an army, so people should then organize them in multiple squadrons. Now, I see that as a problem, because I don't think that's going to work very well, having to try and organize things across multiple squadrons. It could work, but I don't know. At least for us, it wouldn't work very well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I can't imagine for like a group that has a lot of active players, like really
Mobius.
a lot, like Mobius or
Fuel rats.
Fuel Rats.
Yeah, Fuel Rats, that's great point actually. Fuel Rats is going to be a big issue. So there can be no, then it would have to have like Fuel Rats 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever.
Now the real question is, can your mega ship run out of fuel?
Oh!
No. Can it run Crisis?
Can it run?
And then there's in the chat, people arguing that, well, 250 people, they've never seen, I saw someone post earlier, they've never seen like 5 or the 3 or 6 people online on console at once.
Yeah, no, it's not all at once.
No, of
I
course
think
not.
it's more like a, I don't know why they put the number there, but probably it will change.
The overall entity as a whole, rather than the who can be online thing. We know they can't handle more than 4, so we just don't worry about that and just look at the overall entity. Are they saying that as an entity you can only have 250 and that's the end of it?
That's the way I understand it.
No, but yeah, like even though you only play once a week for a couple of hours, that you're still welcome in the squadron.
Yes, of course. But okay.
So that's why we need more than 200.
You know, are you eliminating people that go, well, I can only play on Friday and I feel like I'm not wanted anymore because I'm not an active community member and therefore I'm not in that 250, so I'm out. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So we need more than 250. I can easily see us, like, because if you watch Astro's videos and you want to be a part of a squadron and you see the squadron popping up as you search for it, then you want to apply, right? And that way we'd easily get more than 250 members, although not everyone will be as active. I might be talking out of my ass here, but
yeah. But now Edge is posting in the chat saying that yeah, so now you as the leader will have to kick people, and exactly, if we were capped at 250 and we are running out of space, we'll have to begin to kick inactive people. But how do we know who's inactive? I've seen no talk of like maybe officers or leaders could have some kind of information panel about when were people last online, how many hours they've played, something like that. I mean, you would have to have a way to filter out people, because there's no way I'm going to know who the 250 of people in the squadron are. There's a lot of people who just want to join because of the channel.
Or just circumvent the whole problem by removing the member cap.
Yeah, there we go. Sensible suggestion. There you go. Straight away.
Because I don't really understand why they would need a 250 cap at all. Why do we need a cap at all? Like,
no, I don't get that either.
Technical, we don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, there's a reason why wings are limited to 4, because if you got more than that, well, we all know what happened. But
yeah, one factor that I can think of is that you want more squadrons, right? So you don't want one big fucking squadron that everybody joins because they want to have access to the fleet carrier that particular squadron has.
Strength, then surely you embrace that, because that's a player community growing.
Yeah.
So why would you limit that? You can't say a group of 8,000 to 9,000 active players. If one of them gets 1,000, then that could be a good thing, because that could grow and more players can get involved.
Well, no, but then you limit the opportunities for smaller communities to grow. You don't want to create too many big fish in a pond. You want there to be a living opportunity for the smaller ones as well.
But there's no downside for the... Okay, if there's like one huge... It's not like in EVE Online where you have one mega corporation controlling like a quarter of the whole galaxy. Or whatever.
People are talking about
So go ahead.
People are just talking about RNG squadron kicking in this chat.
Roll the dice.
We need
Roll
10 new
it.
rolls, we need 10 new spots, and you guys are kicked. See ya.
Like a chair game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we removed the chairs.
No, but yeah, there's no like downside if there's
yeah.
like one big, at least that we know of. Maybe there will be. Maybe. I mean, they haven't talked about what the squadron benefits are or whatever, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, that haven't really been. So there's
But
actually people
Even
in
from the name squadron, it really doesn't sound like it's gonna be like a major thing which controls multiple systems or whatever.
No, I don't think so either. And it seems like they're also gonna limit the squadron to just one fleet carrier. So that could potentially be, if you want to run multiple fleet carriers, that you would have to split up. And I know we're drifting back on the fleet carrier topic, which we shouldn't. But do you guys think you would be able to dock on another squadron's fleet carrier?
I think you will, but either you have like, either you're not, you can't, or you'll have like increased prices or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to. What would be the?
Is in charge of anybody that can dock if they're outside of the
You need
faction.
to request docking, and your docking request is denied if you don't have the right permission.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you can
Yeah,
be
well, that
allied
would
with
make sense.
squadrons, and maybe.
'Cause, I
you
mean,
can,
Yeah, it's not like a mega ship, right? Yeah, that's true,
yes, yes, it is. It is a megaship.
No, it is not. It's a thing that carries your fleet. It's
No, but a fleet carrier will be a megaship.
And instantly
No.
people are going UA bombing in chat. God no. Crazy kids.
I find crash fleet carriers on planets, like crash diamondbacks.
UA bombers have too much time on their hands.
So Encry says that, to be honest, squadrons will be interesting. At the moment you can't get many people in the same spot. Imagine battles of squad groups. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to see more people in the same instance at the same time. Because
Yeah.
the instancing software is still going to be Mickey Mouse code. They're not going to change that, I think.
You never know. It's a big update. They might have gone cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but the thing I wanted to add on this subject is that you might be able to. Again, I'm going to bring it back to World of Warships. You can upgrade the space for clan members in that game, but it's expensive. So maybe we could be able to upgrade our capacity for players when we reach 250. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
By paying.
How?
By paying.
Yeah.
That
I'm
could
sure
work.
we'll find an exploit for it.
Yeah.
That sounds very elite, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it would. Okay, so which box can we foresee that will be in the game regarding
Sorry?
squadrons? So which box will there be in the game on launch day with squadrons? Box. Things that doesn't work.
Oh, bug.
Box.
You'll get more money if you leave the squadron, or if you disband it, then you would have paid for one.
If you buy your squadron, sorry, I'm not going back to the other one. But maybe if you come together as a squadron and have a squadron mission, actually the person that did nothing gets more money than everybody else that did all the work. That would be the first vote.
I think rubber banding will be an interesting issue. No, I mean issue that we'll see quite fast.
Squadron.
if you're gonna get so the one thing that because I'm struggling to find a good reason for that cap, and that was, now we were talking about money, because one of the things that people were talking about, some of the forum threads, was that they were afraid what would happen was there would be very few like mega squadrons where everybody would just go because they were already fully upgraded, and they would then just be like places where people just went just to get the benefits whatever they were, whatever they're going to be. And I guess that's why they would consider that 250 cap. But I guess it's a balancing act, because you don't want to limit the large communities, but you want to prevent the mega squadrons from forming. So how do you do that? I mean,
So exactly as I said.
sorry, I missed that then. What did you say?
No, well, we talked about that. I talked about that a little bit a while ago. So that you wouldn't want the huge squadrons just because people want to reap the benefits. You know, like Mobius, if they have a squad and they have it fully upgraded, because I imagine they will quite fast. And everybody just joining that, and there will be no players left for other smaller fleets trying to expand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll be a huge inconvenience for people to actually leave their... Now I'm using Mobius as an example, and I have no bad blood between me and Mobius, but...
That was one of the largest communities in the game.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
And now we have Corey ask, what is a squadron? Well...
A clan.
It's a clan. It's a, yeah.
Clan, guild, crew.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a word.
For a single it's a word.
It's a lot of people flying under the same flag, basically.
I mean, I could imagine if it really would start to be a little bit pushing on the limit, that you could just form a second wing and say, hey, for all the people who played casually can go in there. I mean, you can set, they even give you the option to have like, what is it, attitude, so more casual or more devoted portion. And I mean, on the end, it would be fair to give the people who spend time or money or whatever in it, in-game money, not real money, that they get better benefits through like better ships or whatever.
Cheaper ships, I don't know. Cheap repair, maybe you can get free repairs at your own mega ship.
Holy shit.
Yeah, wow. I would gladly fly halfway across the bubble to get free repairs.
So I don't have to pay my rebuy on shield generator repairs.
Okay.
The mega ship gets damaged. Where do you dock it?
First thing we'll do with the fleet carrier is to basically fit it out and then take it to Beagle Point, right?
No. Everyone
That's a
will
good
do
point.
that.
Who's going to be the first people to just take their mega ships around
the whole galaxy?
Yeah.
I wonder if the because it seems obvious that at least the leader and if the officers are allowed, they can plan jumps for the fleet carrier. But I wonder if they will be announced. It will probably be something that will be announced on the feed, because otherwise that could be a hilarious April Fool's joke. Just jump the carrier to Beagle Point, or so, as far as it will go, and everybody who decides to log off just finds themselves in the middle of nowhere.
And then just leave again when a few people left.
You go on a holiday for a week and suddenly wake up like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I can, on the other side, like, talking about megaships again, imagine how cool it'd be to have, like a mining expedition where you say, hey, this megaship will fly 10,000 light years from Sol, where there's, like, a huge system with a lot of rings and a lot of materials.
We're gonna mine it all.
Gotta strip mine the system, and then we're just gonna leave again. Yeah.
Just megaship with a giant fuel scoop flying through an asteroid belt.
But it would be amazing if they added like a, because you know, say like with the mining expedition that you're talking about, that's a great idea. But what would be the point, right? But if they added like a super special commodity that was only found like some places in the galaxy, so you'd have to take your whole fleet carrier there and then go on a mining expedition at that point, because you could only get the materials.
I would love that.
Yeah, right.
I would be all over that. So, like, suddenly this nebula turns out to have some special high value material, but that would require us to get cargo holds on. Or maybe you just went out there, just stored it in your ship, and then you said we're gonna spend like a weekend there. We're gonna jump out on Friday. We're gonna jump back on Sunday, and then people just get a chance to mine as much as they can. Then we jump it back to Empire, and people could sell it and make the bank. I would love that.
Do you think we'll get commodity storage and on the fleet carriers?
Oh, you would have just like store cutters on it with only cargo racks, type lines.
Right.
No, but like you could say you have like, I don't know, 2,000 units of storage on that thing.
Surely, but much bigger. I mean, Astro would literally start getting a bit creamy if you could just go, right, everybody bring your mining to here, and then we'll go off and sell it.
Would be nice.
Squadronium.
Squadronium.
As people are posting in chat.
Fleet carrier-onium.
fleet carrier.
Caradmium.
Cadmium. Cadmium, exactly.
Definitely be. That's a big point.
And there we go. Matt has been extremely quiet for the whole stream. It's just go wee. Someone says cat and memes in the same sentence.
Matt's two favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's you.
Yeah, but I mean, we have some good times in.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead. No, okay, I'll continue then. I think Chris Wu just found one of the bugs that are definitely gonna be there. He says, "I wonder how many people will get their ships stuck in the middle of nowhere as the ship jumps." Brr.
Just if someone's being a dick, you can just fly to Beagle Point, kick him out the ship, and fly back. Well, I guess you can just self-destruct them.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go into cryo sleep and wake up in Q4.
Yeah.
I will see you guys in a couple of months.
You're gonna miss all the good. But good.
You'll miss the crate though.
Yes.
I won't miss it. It'll still be there. It's not like it's a.
Yeah, but
Well,
then
you'll
you
miss
guess
the
all
release
the
of
good
the
things.
crate. You release all the hype. At that point, it's probably, nah, it's a decent ship, but no one flies it anyway.
Guess I won't go into stasis after all then.
Chris, we
I have
imagine
my-
your fertilizers with only 12 light years of jump at Beagle Point. Fuck.
With a hold full of painite, so
with a hole full of squadronium.
and like I don't know,
Squad
But-
billion worth of planetary scan data.
but you know what? If you decided to go mining in a fertilizer, it's your own goddamn fault. To be honest.
Says the guy who the cheese.
Shh. It worked okay.
Experimentation. It's called experimentation. It's fine.
Can't find any core dynamic composites. Frustrated.
Now, if we keep going back to that fleet carrier,
Fleet carrier, because it's the most.
it is the most
interesting.
interesting thing. The social
It is
aspect of it is actually fairly boring.
I really want to hear some about the benefits and
Yeah.
the stuff, how you can work or how you can improve your.
Of having a
but I
fleet
think
carrier?
that's like an upcoming thing. And yeah, it's so long. It's what? When's quarter
Will
four
we-
starting? It's
Yeah.
September. No,
Q4 is October. November.
October, yeah.
No, October, yeah.
It wouldn't be unlike Frontier to launch it shortly after the expo and then make some surprise announcement at the very last minute that's gonna throw a wrench in the wheel for something.
They
no, it's finally
decided
arrived
to
at the
stop
bubble.
supporting the game.
Yeah.
That would be fun. No, it wouldn't.
I actually would be surprised if they did that, because I don't know. It just
I
seems.
think it
Stop
still
supporting the
makes
game.
enough money.
I believe the league makes like enough money for them to just keep it running, and I know a lot of the money will be using to fund other games, but
Dinosaur game.
yeah, exactly.
The game looks pretty cool though, to be honest. Have you seen
So-
the gameplay of it?
Yeah, I've seen it, but isn't that just like Planet Coaster just reskinned?
But it's dinosaurs, man. It's like pirates. Everyone likes dinosaurs.
Nah, it's not a reskin. This is a totally different graphic style. But I'm
Which
gonna
is
buy
what a
it.
reskin is.
Or-
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's not go into dinosaur games. God, I should have paid
Space
more
dinosaurs.
attention.
You can't call all RTS or builder games a reskin, can you?
I can call you a reskin.
I mean, it's a park builder from the same
Bloody beautiful reskin.
company. So I guess it's pretty as well. Hey, I found one singular unit of core dynamic composites
Congratulations.
after almost an hour.
After 1 hour, yeah. So what other gameplay features would you like to see for Squadrons? Now we obviously fleet carriers is gonna be a thing. But squadron wide missions maybe?
I would like different types of fleet carriers. No, I'm kidding.
I'd really like to have.
Patches.
Well, honestly,
Emblems.
Oh, emblems, yeah.
But I think different kind of carriers are pretty much. I mean, you can select if you're Federal Alliance or whatever, right?
We're working hard to get away from the carrier subject.
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
It's difficult. It is.
Very hard. I'm so stoked.
I'd really like to see like an economy behind your faction as your squadron. So you have like, if people work for it, you can like assign a different tier of payouts, almost like in power play, with hopefully decent payout, more than the last than in power play at least.
What? Oh, I'm overheating. This is weird. It says I have a mission in system, but I can't find the station where the mission is going to. Oh, it's probably a surface outpost on something that I haven't discovered. Great. Squadron game features, tattoos of squadron names on face.
It would be cool to get like a customizable patch to have on your ship.
Yeah, I agree. That would be pretty awesome.
On your like shoulder pad.
Yeah, our ship.
Okay, so the next focus feedback coming up is gonna be like insanely interesting. That's gonna be coming out on the 28th, I believe, so in 20 days. And that's gonna be mining, the new mining upgrades.
Heard that was going to be the most boring one.
No, that's gonna be the best one.
Oh yeah.
Come on, deep core mining. I mean, you're gonna be able to like shoot asteroids to bits and scoop them up. If the graphics they have shown so far is anything to go by.
You mean the concept art?
Yeah, that they showed half a year ago. I know. I can only hope.
Yeah.
Living in faith.
Oh, we had to
But I really hope that it'll be good as well. It's
Just blow a whole asteroid belt into a smaller asteroid belt.
Inception, that asteroid belt.
But in general, I think this has potential to be something pretty good.
Me too, man. It's gonna be good. Also, I'm stoked for any new thing, whether it be a new trading system even, or fucking new types of material, rocks. I don't care. so long as there's something new.
We want Squadronium, and now I'm being attacked. Great.
Squadronium, Captain.
Just boost away, right?
Yeah, I'm with the Imperial Courier. Boosting at almost 600 meters a second. See ya.
See ya.
Eat space dust.
Yes, exactly. I was probably gonna follow me. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we could try to drag it out, but unless there's been something posted very recently, which there haven't, then I think that's pretty much all there is to it at the moment.
What do you guys think will be in the like first content update?
This one coming now?
Soon, I guess. Well, they talked about it. Might
Soon.
be soon.
Soon, yes. Yeah. So the the first of the smaller content updates.
Is that the second?
Nope.
No, so the first of the smaller. We had the first big update.
The first was 3.0.
We know one thing: Guardian frame strike boosters, quote unquote, rebalanced.
Don't mistake corrections as updates. There are two different things.
Corrections and
Bug fix. Just like loop of corrections.
Loop of correction.
Never
We're gonna
seen
introduce a
correction.
new loop of correction for everybody.
Yeah.
So, talking about loop of corrections, have you actually ever tried to use that death spiral approach tactic?
No.
Yes,
It should apparently have been the fastest way to approach a station.
it
is-
is,
it is
but
quicker,
it
yeah.
needed pretty mobile ship.
Yeah.
So that's the end of it. Because that'll actually miss the entire system, never mind the station. Because its yaw and rotation is just terrible.
Quarterly updates. DK says, don't call the quarterly updates. It's less confusing if you just call it FD bombing. What?
What? FD bomb.
FD, like Frontier Developments.
Yes. It'll be ships.
Yeah, but the crate, when? They didn't they just say it would come out, they didn't say when.
No, they
Yeah.
talked about quarter 2.
Okay, so that would maybe be in the next update, in 3.1.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they said quarter 2, but I highly like. It looked like it was at a similar development state as the Chieftain was on the Expo. At least they both had a gray rendering. So I guess it shouldn't be too far away.
Yeah, let's not anticipate it too much like we did the Type 10. Because that.
But I mean, what
that-
else are they gonna put in the content update? Ships, maybe some new modules, some
Yeah,
a-
modules.
now a new Thargoid that has
That looks
more spikes on it.
more, yeah, exactly, looks exactly the same, with more spikes and more Thargons.
Thargoids have gone very
Ems will
quiet of
probably
late,
be
though.
pretty soaked.
That nobody can kill because the crate haven't been released, but turns out to be a like eagle-sized ship that just one-shots Thargoids. Or something, I don't know.
That has a huge. It's just a flying huge hard point.
Yes.
It's called a Sidewinder. You can only kill it with a Sidewinder. So if you got rid of yours at the start,
but I'm looking forward to the crate. That's such an iconic ship. And
Yeah,
what about the
like
Panther
the-
Clipper?
Yeah.
Imagine if they released that one.
What
That's
about
it.
fleet carriers?
we haven't discussed that. We haven't discussed that. Let's do that.
let's. So fleet carriers.
You think there will be ship kits for fleet carriers?
Yeah.
I would guess that paint jobs for fleet. I mean, if you look at what they are releasing paint jobs for, they are of course releasing paint jobs for the most popular ships. I mean, look at the amount of paint jobs for the Corvette. Sorry, man, but if you compare it to the Cutter, I think this I think it's easy to see which one is the player favorite.
No,
The Cutter has nicer paint jobs. I feel like the Corvette ones are a bit lacking.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes, high five, Eminer.
I
I
do.
think the Cutter has shitty paint jobs, although I really want a good one. Because
I
it's one of
think
my
you're shitty.
But I definitely think there will be paint jobs for the fleet carriers because it's going to be something that a lot of people have worked together to get. They're going to be very proud of. So of course they want to put their own custom colors on it. Now,
Yes.
the problem I see with it is those are of course going to be something you pay for. But who pays for them then? Should it then only the leader of a squadron actually buy paint jobs for a fleet carrier? Because if that's the case, it's going to be a very limited amount that's going to be sold because there's going to be so few of them in game.
It'll be a community thing. As Jess points out, we should just have like 20 different spoilers on
You have.
I hope
you have
big,
to have.
something that's never going to hit an atmosphere.
light bulb strips on the whole thing on the outside.
Christmas lights.
Yeah, dress it out in vibrant green and with Christmas lights wrapped around it. There we go.
All be getting it wrong. The reason why they're introducing the spoilers is because we're now getting atmospheric planets, and we need the spoilers to land on them. So you guys don't realize it's like an Easter egg they put in, and we're finally going to get there.
Carries
That's why they put it in premium store.
Yeah.
But and now we're back at fleet carriers, I know, but imagine if they turn out to be bigger than the mega ships are right now.
Nah.
Nah,
They don't have fleet carriers. I mean, they have entire prison colonies that are mega ships.
Although, yeah, I mean, if you look at a type, and
Oh,
an
no, fleet
Apollo,
carrier,
that's
that would be-
almost size of a like aircraft carrier.
True.
So, and like an
But
aircraft
they
carrier.
easily fit into a fleet carrier. I mean, a megaship. A megaship is big. Get some
But-
dimensions up on that.
Thick booties.
Where do you think, actually, when you schedule a jump, how accurate do you think you'll be able to jump it? Could you say, I want it to be in this position in a ring, right next to that rock? Or would it be more like, you're just going to spawn some random place in this system?
I hope not.
Conventional travel, as we see it now. We
I'd
have a
say you
4
can-
light year jump range. That's going to be the thing. Your mega ship has a 4 light year jump range, and
That's going to take forever.
yeah.
I can imagine you can tell at which body it should orbit, but not any more precise.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be the size of like a what are those called? Like the battle, the Farragut battle.
But
Is that
that
really
is almost bigger than a
For the
megaship.
mail slot. Yeah. Hopefully, there's no
Multiple,
mail slot. It just have landing pads on the exterior.
Yeah, I
That
think
will solve that issue. Yeah.
But Edge Crusher says here, I want to position my fleet carrier in front of the mail slot. Just go jump in the shroud and get Destra like 1 meter off the mail slot. Like, fuck you guys, I can't move for a day.
You just
And then
force
having
that thing
trading
in.
missions in between those two.
Yeah, oh yeah. So you have a landing pad right outside. So you basically just, as soon as you leave the grid outside, you're basically just boop, land and then come back in.
I do not believe they're gonna have.
You are part of the fleet, regardless of whether you wanted to be or not. So that's how you acquire members, and that's why we can't have more than 250.
But they'll just fly out of the
Fly
station
west-
and then right into
west-
our fleet carrier. Be
Fly
recruited.
paper, and that's
Yeah.
how we recruit. Just sit there like we're a
Yeah.
bright light. You're
And
mine.
then,
You're mine.
and then there's gonna be a trespass zone around it, so everyone who tries to run dog is gonna be killed, and then the fleet carrier is gonna get a bounty, and then the station's gonna shoot at it, then it's gonna shoot back at the station. It's gonna be mayhem.
I want to see a fleet carrier fight a station.
I want to see a fleet carrier fight another fleet carrier.
I don't think they'll fight at all.
Oh, you think the fleet carriers will jump into a system like the big capital ships?
I actually just got this, the same, like, imagine this, like, on the day of release, like week before release, there's here's the final designs of the fleet carriers, and you have the Farragut, and what's the other one, the Empire one.
The interdict. No, I forgot.
Yeah, the interdictor. No, what was it again?
I think it's interdictor class.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Googling it. Because if you're playing Elite, you need to Google things to check what you're doing.
Oh yeah, the Majestic, that's right.
Majestic. There you go.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
someone posted here that fleet carriers will only jump on Tuesdays. I hope they're gonna be able to jump once a day at the
Yeah, I
surface.
really don't hope. I mean, then it's just a mega ship, basically, and I really don't want it to be
Gonna
just
be.
a mega ship that you can upgrade or influence a bit more. Would be like the best case scenario. I mean, the best case scenario would be you piloting the thing, right?
And that's not gonna happen.
Would be really cool if you can like dock on it and then fly the whole thing through this black hyperspace cloud like a capital ship does.
With the sound, yeah.
With you
No.
on it,
Oh,
and then it jumps out the conflict zone. You all on dock and start blasting away.
And with 100 people on it, suddenly you get hyper addicted. and the Star Guard just goes, well, fuck. And then when 100 ships just emerges from this,
Sounds like a Eve battle.
yes, it would, and it would be a complete and utter instancing fest. Where nothing would work.
That's 200 players in the same faction instance.
me, but I'd watch that at 2 frames a second. I don't care.
I would record it at 1 frame a second and speed it up afterwards.
Man, just found a high, what is it called? High, one of those signal sources.
High grade emissions.
Yeah, and I got in, Boom. Match cannot connect to matchmaking server after I've been looking for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's
crap
working
my
as
joystick.
intended. That's
I
working
got a
as intended.
single unit of core dynamic composites in like an hour. If you find any, tell me. As long as you
But
don't need them
it
yourself.
is actually quite interesting because how that whole jump mechanic is going to work. And I know it's going to come out later and we don't know anything yet. But and we keep circling around those fleet carriers. But because right now they have this the normal like server restart on Tuesdays, no Thursdays, right? Where they would move the mega ships.
Thursdays. Yeah.
But I really hope there would be more often than that you would be able to move them. But if you do that, how would that whole moving thing work? Would there be like a countdown? Would it be a certain time each day where they just like disappeared and then reappeared in another position? And how would that work if someone was trying to dock at it at the same time while it was jumping? So suddenly your landing pad just disappeared?
The announcer
Yeah,
would say, docking
don't
is
think-
disabled because blah 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 blah.
I think it'll need some sort of scheduling, otherwise players just gonna be in the wrong, or like who wanted to get on it just missed it because I don't know, an officer just thought.
I mean, landing pads are apparently already a little bugged. I had a bug yesterday where I was trying to land, and for some reason, even though I was centered over the landing pad and was like throttling down and I was all the way down, my landing gear was out, it wouldn't like log on and actually dock until suddenly my ship just got launched upwards and hit the other side of the station.
Boom.
Yeah, it survived, and then I could just fly back. Almost got a loitering warning, but all loitering fine.
Can you loiter in your mega ship? And does it shoot you as well? That's a real question here.
You should have a ship cannon that shoots your ship.
Does it fire on your own officers?
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I found it.
panic.
Core dynamics composite.
It was
How
about
many?
time.
I found 3, but I'm in a dude's.
Coming to
Sorry.
Esther's private group. I'm looking for him for 1.5 hours now.
Go to a
almost.
boom system. Go to a boom system.
But in the boom system, I'll find other shit as well. It's a problem.
Just need to catch these before I fucking lose my connection.
Oh, gotta overshoot here a bit. Whee! So how many fleet carriers can you fit in Sothis? Yeah. I would expect you could have more than one, and here we go, that's the pirate. Have more than one fleet carrier in every ship system, but I don't think you're gonna be able to have more than one per squadron.
I want to see 2 fleet carriers interdict each other.
I doubt we're gonna be able to pilot them, but it would be nice.
Going on for about half an hour. 1 degree right, 2 degrees left, 3 degrees forward.
Yeah, it would be cool to like be able to set up in some place and just chill out away from the bubble and do some exploring around there. See if we can find some nice.
And everybody would be jumping to the Formula 9 Rift and look for Rexler.
Right. And occupy it.
Just live there.
Yeah. we
don't need infrastructure. We're fine here.
Yeah, make our own little cult. But hey, MSTLs, have you been able to make that when you find a unidentified signal source and you lock onto it? Should be it should be popping up a lot of unidentified signal sources around, but I haven't gotten that to work. I think Bloodweiser talked about that a couple days
Yeah,
back.
sometimes it's kind of weird. If you target one, suddenly like 2 others will appear and stuff like that.
Oh, so you can just try to approach something you don't need and make more appear?
Yeah, but he
sometimes.
talked about it, but it doesn't work for me.
Yes, it works sometimes. It's kind of odd. Like whenever I have an high grade, for example, it works.
What flight path are you guys
Just
using
go
when you're
into your
exploring
system.
for HSSs?
Sorry.
So in Super Cruise, there's a flight path, so you can either choose to go away from the star to the star or round a rotational orbit. Which of those are you choosing when you're looking for HSSs?
Just going
Going
straight out to
away.
deep space.
Yeah, because that's going to diminish.
No.
I've been trying lately because I've always just been using the
Faster
same.
way.
I've always used the same tactic where you just like fly out to 100,000 away from the star and you just begin looking out there in the middle of nowhere. But I've been trying to orbit the star now at like 2,000, 3,000, something like that, which sometimes seems to work better. So I don't know. It seems like there's a sweet spot where you get more high grades than others, but I haven't figured out how it works yet.
What I found in doing mine, resource-wise, because I don't like spending a lot of time doing resource management, so whichever boom state I'm in, I'll always go out to the largest ring that's in that system. So bring up your rings on your heads-up display towards it in a straight line, and then you'll pick up 2 or 3, because it always does that. It does that sort of, you get excited, you're going to get like 2, and then by the time you get to the end, it seems to dissipate. So I then follow that, and because that's easy, because you can look at your left panel, it comes up, and then you can just follow the line. It happens about every 6 to 8 minutes, rather than every 4 to 6 hours, which it appears to be.
I'm getting a lot of high grade emissions here. What do you need the core dynamics sausage for?
Armor, yeah.
Armor. I love the ones that have like 6 different types of materials in them.
Yeah, I had one of those. I had 6 precipitated alloys.
Oh.
Stuff that's just underneath. The stuff I need.
Like they're those medical. What are those called again? Like medical.
Pharmaceutical isolators.
Pharmaceutical isolator. So hard to find.
You know what?
I always
Especially
find
when you're
them
actually
whenever I
looking
need
for
them. And you don't need a lot of them either. You need like 10 of them. If you're lucky, that's 1 high grade. I think core dynamic composites are the worst.
Dude, I found another one of them.
Well,
They're here.
You need them?
Go check my. Come to my the system that I'm in.
How far are you from the main star though?
I'm 256. I'm 12,000 away.
Okay. But I'll just give the forum one last refresh, see if there's anything interesting. If there's not, see. No, it's all the same.
Holy hell, where the fuck are you at?
I think we're gonna call it for today. I think we got around most of what's been announced today. We'll of course do the same thing on the 28th, I guess. Maybe not the 28th, at least around when the next focus feedback comes out. And I'll also be sure, of course, to post any updates on what's going on in Hello Dave. So if you're not familiar with that, it's like a weekly news update vlog kind of thing where I just go over what's going on in Elite and other stuff around the channel. So yeah, thanks a lot
After party.
Oh yeah, after party. That's right. In the description below the stream, there's a link for Discord, and there will be after party over on Discord, where you're welcome to come over and say hi
himself.
and tell us what you think, and if you have some points or some comments that I might have missed in the chat, you can come over and let me know. We might continue the discussion on fleet carriers over there after the stream. And probably will be for the next couple of weeks. But I would like to say a big thank you to Cactus Juggler, Imsulos, Immoner, and Matt the Fat Cat for joining me today. And thanks a lot to all you guys in chat who's been with us for the last almost 2 hours, or for however long you've been here. So yeah, hope you liked the stream. If you did, remember to give it a like down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do that. And until next time, I'll see you guys in space.